Hello, everyone. Welcome back to On the Air with Brett and Claire.
I'm Brett.
And I'm Claire. And I'm going to make sure everything's recording. Yes, we are good. So today's episode is going to be like a guide on how to vision board, and then also what we're putting on our vision board / like just our goals for 2025.
Yeah, this isn't really my thing completely, but I do understand it, and I've done it a couple times now, so I'm getting better. But I think it does work more than you would give it credit for typically.
Yeah, and this isn't like, I'm not one that's into manifestation and all of that, but I think if you do a vision board and you just have something to look at every single day and like see your goals, like it's gonna make you want to achieve them because you're gonna see actively like what you're trying to reach.
Yeah, I think it's like writing your goals down, but I don't know. I think the imagery can help. Like, I don't know, it leaves it more as like a dream, and it doesn't narrow it down so much that like you feel like it's impossible. Like you can still, I don't know, it seems like more doable when it's just pictures for some reason. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I agree. Plus, I just enjoy doing it, but if vision boarding is not your thing, I think it's good to set goals for the new year. I mean, you can set them for the new month, the new week, the new day, whatever, but obviously the new year is a great time to make some new goals. So,
Yeah.
First we're going to talk about how to vision board, and then we'll go through kind of what is going to go on ours and just our goals for the year. But before we get into that, let's do our life update.
It's hard because we literally just recorded last night. But I mean, yeah, there's not much at all really.
We baked a sourdough loaf today.
Yeah.
Or I finished
Claire
baking
did.
it.
It turned out really
morning.
good too.
Yeah, I just undercooked it a little bit, but if I'd cooked it or baked it longer, it probably would have been our best loaf yet.
Yeah, and it wasn't like undercooked. It's just not as brown on the outside as you would.
But even the
Probably
inside, like it could have gone a little bit longer, but that's okay.
It looks
We're
good.
still improving in the sourdough department. And
Yeah. We haven't had one in a while either, so I've missed it.
yeah, me too. But yeah, not much has happened since last night other than that, and just trying to prepare for this episode and also to make our vision boards, because our New Year's Eve plans consist of making our vision boards for the year and
All the other New Year's festivities,
yeah, like watching the ball drop and
all the stuff on TV.
yeah.
And then we're going to, because we have a view of downtown Dallas, like a very good view, we're going to watch the fireworks show, which they canceled the drone show, so that's kind of sad, but I can understand why. What was the one that didn't go well?
It was in Florida, but it's kind of weird because now everybody's canceling their drone shows. And I understand, like, it's a tragic thing that happened, but it's kind of weird. Like, the drone accident and all the
Yeah.
drones everywhere. Like,
Yeah.
there's so much talk about drones.
Well, and there's been tons of drone shows already in the last like 2 years, and there's not been any issues. At least they were that serious, and now all of a sudden they're gonna just shut them all down. Like, that's kind of weird to me. But
yeah, it just seems interesting. But we do have a conspiracy episode coming later this month, so I'm sure the drones will be discussed more in detail on that one.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And also, we haven't talked about it, but it's been 3 years almost exactly since your cancer diagnosis, which is crazy. And I remember 3 years ago, you were like asleep because you were dealing with cancer. And I made my yearly vision board alone and watched the ball drop. And it was so sad. But it's just crazy how far we've come since that moment. Like, that's what really started this podcast.
No, I know. It's just crazy we've been doing it for that long. I mean, it hasn't been consistently, but we started it 3 years ago.
Yeah, and only have 50 episodes, which is kind of horrible. But
Yeah. I mean, we could be a lot further, but at least we're still doing it. And I don't know, it's just wild, like the things that happen that put you on to a different path, you know?
yeah, it is really crazy.
But I'm thankful for it. It's fun. We have all this cool equipment now. We get to do like a more official podcast. it's not just our little snowball recording things, and
Yeah.
way
Even though
better.
our little set situation is far from perfect, like it's way better than what we started out with. Also, speaking of
Yeah.
the set, if you're watching on YouTube, because this should be available on YouTube this week, this will be the last week with this floral arrangement because I know it's really dead and doesn't look great, but that's okay.
It's a little crunchy.
Yeah, it's time for a new one. But yeah, Happy New Year, Happy 2025, because this will be out after New Year's has already happened. So
Yeah, it's insane. It's already the next year. I just can't even believe it.
yeah, it is crazy, and it's also not. I don't know. But it's just a time of reflection and looking forward. So that's what we're here to help you do today.
Yeah, and if you haven't noticed, I'm extremely tired. I've just been at work all day and I'm just exhausted. But we did get to sleep in our bed last night for the first time in like over a week. So that's really nice.
Yeah, I am also tired. I feel like we're both just a little under the weather. Throat's hurting, the whole thing. But we're determined to get this episode out on time. So that's what we were trying to do.
Let's get into it.
Okay, so how to vision board. So what you're going to do is you're going to find photos and you're either going to glue them on a poster board or like pin them on a cork board, or you can make one electronically. I like to make a physical vision board that I hang up, and then I also make one every season that I make my phone background. Some people do their computer. I don't like that because I like to see all my little computer folder icon things, and if you do a vision board, it's just too much on the computer screen in my opinion. But yeah, so PicMonkey for the one on your phone or Canva. And
she's actually really good on the phone one too. Like it's like a cool collage of everything, and
I work very hard, and like a lot of thought goes into each vision board.
And she shows me every time she's finished.
Yeah, and I don't get the hype that I want ever, but it's cool. Okay. It's a fun project for me, and it helps me get like reoriented for the new season. So obviously the one for the new year is like the biggest vision board that I do, and a lot goes into it for me personally. So yeah, so that's what you're gonna do to make your vision board. That's the first step. So finding photos. So we used to just like go through magazines and like rip things out that kind of spoke to us, which I still like to do that. I think it's fun, and it forces you to be a little more creative, I think, because you have to like really search for things and just like see what speaks to you. So sometimes if I do that, I'll find things that I wouldn't normally put on my vision board.
I mean, like I said last episode though, if you're like me, and I don't get magazines like ever, but you do, and they're all like girly women magazines, and there's nothing in there for me really. So I end up only having like 3 or 4 things on my entire board.
Yeah.
And you'll have like so many you can't even fit them all on there.
Yes, which is what brings me to my next photo source, which is Pinterest and or just a Google search. So later on, we're going to go through all of the things, or just like some options of things that you can think about and then kind of look up pictures of. So like to put on your vision board. But Pinterest is a great source if you want to get really specific and just like search for specific photos that kind of indicate your goals, which is more for somebody who isn't as into my magazines. Like that's a good way to go about it, because you can find whatever pictures you want and you don't run into that issue.
Yeah, I mean, I still find it kind of hard to find images, but that's probably just me. Like I just search for the most, I don't know, either it's too specific or it's super generic, and I just never find stuff like how you do.
Well, I think you also like don't care as much, which is fine. Like nobody has to make a vision board. I mean, you do, because it's an activity I enjoy and like we're doing it. But this is just if you want to, like these are my tips, because I've made a lot of them and I have it down to like a pretty good science at this point.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
kind of annoying to find like the cork boards were really hard to find, but what's the regular boards we normally get?
Just like a poster board.
Yeah,
Like a
those are
foam
easier
board
to find.
especially is good because it's not just flimsy. Like you can just set it up on something or whatever. But
Yeah.
yeah, now we do have cork boards that are hung all the time because, like I said, I'm serious about my vision boards.
Yeah, and the cork boards look nice. We got like framed ones. But yeah, I don't know. I kind of like either way.
Yeah, they're both fun. They both have their pros and cons. You just gotta do what works for you. And then you can also create your own images on like Canva or PicMonkey. Like some people, I'm trying to think of an example. Like there'll be like somebody like driving a car, because for me, I want a car, so like maybe I would do this even though I'm not going to. But and then, or like Photoshop, you could do this with, and then you put like your face on the person driving the car to like really envision yourself driving the car. And that's just one example, but just like making your own pictures and putting yourself into it is a big thing that a lot of people do. I don't personally do that. I try to go for pictures that don't really have people in them at all, but sometimes that's hard to do. So
Yeah, I somehow always end up picking out the most stock looking photos.
yeah.
Just like the ones that aren't stock never are what I'm looking for, and then the stock photos have something it represents what I'm looking for, but it's not like the coolest picture ever. So
Well, it doesn't have to be though. It's just whatever speaks to you.
yeah, I just start Googling and then I just pick whatever looks the best to me.
Yeah, which that's one way to do it. But yeah, so you're gonna get your photos. You're gonna get some glue and or push pins, and then, like we said, a cork board or a foam board, and then.
Go to town.
Well, really, you're going to want to establish your goals first, which is what we're going to talk about next. But once you do all that, like establishing your goals, then there's your information on how to actually make it. I'm sure y'all all understand.
Yeah, so then really it's like get your goals together, then find your pictures to represent them.
Yes. Then glue
Then,
or
yeah,
pin
slap
them
'em
or
on
whatever.
there.
Or make it electronically if that's what you want to do.
Yep. Easy peasy.
All right, so now let's talk about how to like establish your goals. This isn't really how to establish your goals, but more so like when you're making a vision board, what should go on it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so Peyton Sarton actually has a really good episode on this. I learned a lot of my vision boarding tips from her, and she's a much more established podcaster than we are, so her episode is probably way better. But so this is going to be kind of similar to that, but also not, because I've put my own twist on things.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's good to have a plan before you do the board, because anytime I've just like started doing it, it doesn't end up very well, and like the pictures don't even really matter to me that much. So I think having a plan. Also, today I realized it's a lot easier to find the pictures if you do already have the goals in mind. Otherwise, you're just looking at pictures and you're going like trying to make a goal out of a picture, and that's kind of weird.
Yeah, which that's the drawback with magazines, is it's more like the magazine shows you your goals, and sometimes that can be fun, like just as a creative project, but
You'll have very trendy goals probably.
yeah, for sure. And as my vision boards have grown, like I've kind of progressed out of using magazines, but
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of the magazine thing.
I still think it's fun to like make a magazine collage every once in a while, but for this purpose, it's not my go-to choice. Plus, magazines are honestly really expensive, and I like to look back at old magazines, and if I'm cutting them up to shreds, there's nothing to look back at. So
Yeah, because you really do destroy them when you cut through them.
yeah. Okay, so when you're trying to establish what you want on your vision board, you're going to look at the following things, I guess. So the first one I have on here is the very obvious, like, you know, everybody's New Year's resolution is to work out and eat better and lose weight or whatever. But that is something that should go on your vision board if it's something that's important to you. So just like food and health goals in general. But just be more specific with it than like, I want to go to the gym and eat better. Like, what do you want to cook? What kind of workouts do you want to do? What gym do you want to go to? What, I don't know,
Well,
things like that.
If there's a goal in mind and you do get more specific, it's like you kind of have something to look forward to within that goal. Like if it is working out or eating better, like find a cool recipe that's like a healthy recipe you want to try, or find, like Claire was saying, like a cool workout or some unique workout that you think is interesting. And that way, when you look at it, it's like, oh, like it kind of, I don't know, it can inspire like a more interesting way to do it. Because I feel like most people's New Year goals just die off because it gets mundane or boring like super fast, you know?
Yeah, exactly. And when you get really specific about it, like you're more passionate about it and you're more inclined to do it. Like for instance, so last year on my vision board, before we moved to New York, before we even started like apartment searching, I had a picture of an apartment in New York, like with a fire escape, brick walls, and like that's what we ended up getting, you know? So like
Yeah.
be as specific as you possibly can, because that's what you're going to be inclined to like go after and do. Like if you really imagine it in your head.
Yeah, I mean, because it's called a vision board too. Like, you want to be able to envision your goals when you look at it.
Right.
And you don't want it to just be some vague picture of something, because then it's, I don't know, your goal can become vague.
Yeah.
And then you don't hit anything because you don't even know what it is.
Yeah. So be as specific as possible. That's about it for like food and health. I feel like y'all know, like it's not that complicated to understand, but I'm just trying to break it down in a way that is helpful, because some people really don't know like where to start with things like this. So
I mean, I don't really, but
yeah, so maybe it'll be helpful for someone. But the next one is what you want to look like, and this one could mean so many things. Like if you want to change your personal style, like get a new haircut, whatever it may be. Get plastic surgery, which like I don't really recommend for anyone necessarily, but just
yeah, I didn't really think, I don't know, nothing in this category was like I need to do something like that, but
and that's also fine. Like if you
Yeah.
want to remain exactly the same, do it. Like that's great.
yeah, no, it's just like any kind of change like you want to make.
Yeah.
So
That's about it on that one. Also pretty self-explanatory. Okay, so the next one is what you want to accomplish. So this could mean like getting a different job position, or changing your career path entirely, or getting, finishing your degree at school, or graduating with a certain GPA, or just maintaining a certain GPA. Just anything you're trying to accomplish this year, be as specific as possible and put it on the board.
yeah, again, just specifics, and especially with goals though, like this, where it's like there's a metric kind of quantity to it, where it's like I want this one specific thing. Like those are the best ones where you, not even really the best, you just like have to be narrowed down on it. Otherwise, like you really don't know what you're going for,
Right.
because like you have to be able to measure some of these, and even the ones that you can't completely measure, it helps when you really create a vision in your head of it and then make the board as close to that as possible.
Yeah, but at the same time, like if you know that you want to maybe change your career or something like that, but you don't know to what, like just put a quote about changing your career on the vision board, and that's going to inspire you to do it.
Yeah, because like one of mine is like, I don't know, just like changing kind of like whether I follow my heart or whether I like push for certain things. And like that is sort of vague in a way, but it's more of like an emotional feeling rather than an objective thing. So it's just like I don't know, the way that I want to guide my life. So I don't know, it's just like find things that represent that to you on your vision board.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, the next one is spirituality. So you could put like Bible verses. Ruby's decided to join us for the first time in a while. That could be like Bible verses that really speak to you, or your favorite verse, or a verse that you really want to like cling on to for the next year. Or just anything that for you personally would represent spiritual growth. And for both of us that's in a God way, but for somebody else that may not be. So just anything that connects you spiritually.
Yeah. I mean, like, yeah, whether it's the Bible or a picture of Buddha or something like that, like, there's stuff out there you can. You don't have to necessarily narrow down those kinds of things, because it's sort of a search that you don't know where the ending is.
Yeah.
But like you want to progress on it, and so I think it's just more it's about like the path you're going down on that one. So it's like, what do you want to surround yourself with? Because I mean, whatever you like take in, you typically become, so.
Right.
But yeah, I think that one's more of a, just like, how do you want to feel and what do you want to pursue broadly? I guess more of a belief system type thing, but
yeah, and you'll know what that is for yourself.
Yeah, and it'll change too. I mean, some of these things, like, you might get to the goal fairly fast and then it transforms into a whole new thing,
Yeah.
Which you could update your vision board if you want.
Yeah. That's why I do them quarterly also.
Yeah, like for real, quarterly.
Yeah. Okay, the next one is financial goals. This is pretty much just like what it sounds like. Like, how much money do you want to make? Or do you want to save for something? Or just like, where do you want to be at financially this year? Again, that's going to be really different for everybody. So.
Yeah, and I mean, all these are up for interpretation too. I mean, you can take it how you want. These are just topics that, and this helped me a lot. Claire came up with all this, like all these different topics, but it helps you kind of even figure out what your goals are at all. Like, regardless of the vision board, like there's different areas of your life that, you can get better in or figure out. But yeah, interpret all these how you would like.
Yeah, if you don't want to do the vision board, don't. But I think it is really good to go through some of these things, or like there's other topics you can find on, Pinterest or Instagram or from somebody out there. Like, I just think it's good to reflect on these things and figure out what you want, because it's always good to be progressing towards something and like have goals. So
yeah, I feel like it's important. I mean, when you keep these things in your head too, like, unless you're focusing on that one specific thing all the time, like, it's very easy to forget your goals.
Yeah.
Especially like as life goes on, things just get messy, and you're not going to remember what you thought on January 1st when you're like, I'm going to change this, and be better.
Yeah.
It just goes away.
Yeah, they say like 2 weeks into January or whatever is when most people give up on their goals. So that's why I like the vision board, is because it's really a all year reminder. So you're not just like, oh, I forgot about that.
And it's not like a strict, like, if it's about the gym, like going to the gym Monday, Wednesday, Friday, it's like, and then you miss one day and then you're like, well, I don't want to go this day either. Like,
yeah,
if it's just like, I just want to go to the gym, like, you feel like you're more inclined to go because there's not so much pressure on it.
Right. The next one is what you want to purchase. This kind of goes along with the financial one, but I don't know, like whether this means you want to purchase nothing and just save your money all year, or if you want to try and buy a house or a car, or if you want to buy, I don't know, like a nice watch or a nice purse or a dog or literally anything. Like, just if I don't know, what do you figure out what you want to spend your money on this year?
Yeah, and you can even like write down what your savings goals are each week or month or whatever too. Like, you can get real specific with that one.
Yeah, a lot of people put like actual numbers on their vision board of like, $1 million in their bank account or whatever. So you can do that too.
That'd be nice to have $1 million in the bank account.
It would. Put it on your vision board. I also try to be like a little realistic about it though. Not that we couldn't have $1 million in our bank account by the end of the year. Like, who's to say that's not possible? You never know. but I try to give myself like things that are within reach pretty closely. But also moving to New York really didn't feel that within reach. So I do kind of dream big on my vision board.
Yeah, I feel like you've always put things that I just would be like, I'm not going to put that on a vision board. But like you do it and they've happened, some of them.
Yeah, most of the time.
Yeah.
Because I go through it and I'm like, this one happened and this one happened. So dream big, you know?
I mean, why not? I mean, ultimately, like you're doing the thing anyways, so just put it on there, see what happens.
Yeah, I think dream big, but also like don't set yourself up for disappointment because like you know yourself and it's really good to have goals and push yourself towards them, but don't just do it or like make the goal because it seems like something really great that you know you don't really want enough to try and do.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. I don't
mean,
know.
Yeah, I mean, don't put like that you want to fly like a bird with no like, like not something that's clearly impossible or not going to happen in a long time. But like, push yourself. Like
Yeah.
your goals are meant to push you and change you, and that doesn't happen without going out of your comfort zone. And part of this is being able to dream about actually achieving those things and not just going, what if that happened one day,
Right.
So yeah, just see where it goes, play with it.
Yeah, that's the fun part. The next one is where you want to be. So this is like if you want to move, if you're unhappy with where you're at, or if you don't want to move and you just want to be in your current space but change things up. Like just what do you want your surroundings to look like and where do you want to be like physically planted?
Yeah. I don't know too, like maybe you don't like where you live at all and you want to live somewhere completely different. I know it's scary, especially if you don't have any friends or family at that other place you want to go, but I don't know, maybe it's worth a try to see how you actually like it,
Yeah.
And you're never going to actually do it, I think, if you don't make it a goal.
I mean, yeah.
I think people don't even think about that, like they just think like, oh, I'd like to do that one day, and they just like never make it a goal to actually do it.
I think people sell themselves short a lot, and it's like you can do it. Like if you want to do it, you can do it.
Yeah, I mean, people get so bogged down by life, but it's like when you're really into something or interested or want to do something, like, I mean, if you're really into it, like you'll find a drive you didn't even know existed before.
Yeah, which is easy to get bogged down. I mean, we're both kind of in that situation right now, but
yeah, that's why we need to do this vision board, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. It helps kind of bring you out of a rut and remember like what you're doing, everything you're doing for.
Yeah, definitely.
Next one is like any creative goals you have. So if you want to start a new hobby, if you want to get better at a current hobby, if you want to I don't know, do anything creative or like create a new daily habit of like journaling or something.
I mean, this is where I feel like it's like take something you do already and not like innovate it, but like just have fun with it and do something new.
Yeah.
To like kind of change it, I guess. So it's not like doing something entirely new, but it's refreshing what you've been doing.
Yeah. Just give it a new perspective.
Yeah. I think, is that all of them?
No, there's one more main one. So, relationships. So, just like how do you want to show up in your relationships the next year, whether it's with your family and friends, significant other, people on the street, like whoever it is, just how do you want to show up?
Yeah, that one's pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
But I think it can be a very impactful one if you really think about it and how you want to be.
Yeah. For sure. And that's all the categories that I personally have. Again, I'm sure if you go on Pinterest or something, like you can find a lot more than that. But those are the ones that we went with and what we are going to find pictures for. So now we will kind of give some examples on like what our goals are within those categories. So maybe it can give y'all some ideas if you're struggling to come up with goals for the year.
Okay, you want me to go first?
Sure.
So, I'm just gonna read down the list.
Or we can go category by category.
Okay, you ask the category and I'll read it because it's not in the same place.
Okay, so for your first two, you can just... Okay, let's just do the spirituality category first.
So I put strengthen my relationship with God and gain more peace in life.
And you also put read more of the Bible and talk to people more about God. That's farther down your list, but...
Yeah. But yeah, basically I just want to enrich my beliefs and my faith and how all that's going. And a big way of doing that is reading the Bible and just spending time with God in prayer. So
yeah,
that's my spiritual goals.
Yeah, I think that's great. Mine is make a real commitment to do my devotional and prayer journal every day and just be better about prayer in general, because I do a devotional and then I like write out a prayer, and sometimes I'm not very consistent with it, but I've been better lately, so I'm trying to keep like on a consistent path and aim to do it, 99, ideally 100% of the days next year, but realistically probably like 95%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you can do it.
Yep. Okay, so next one is going to be the food and health category.
I just want to eat whole foods, go to the gym like 2 to 3 times a week, and I want to focus on weightlifting and just like a little extra cardio. I'm not trying to like run marathons or anything, but I do want to get my cardio up because I feel very out of shape right now.
That's a good goal.
Like so out of shape.
Yeah, I think that's good. Mine is to start cooking more, even if it's super simple meals. Because I'm not a chef and I do not enjoy it, but I know it would be helpful if I cooked more. So I'm gonna try to start doing that, and then significantly reduce my sugar intake and avoid processed foods as much as possible. And really focus on healing my PCOS, which the sugar and the processed foods is like a really big part of that. So yeah, for my overall health, need to do that, and also just eat at home more, like not, order DoorDash or like go pick up food, or just cut way back on that. And then also do weightlifting a few times a week, and I would like to get back into yoga. That's kind of a lot, but
that is a lot.
Yeah.
But it's a lot of options to do throughout the year. It's not just one little thing. You can have to do it over and over and over.
Yeah. Also in this category, like you could add mental health too. So like journaling, meditation, things like that help with your mental health.
I guess I would have thought that was more like spiritual, like the first category in a way.
That could be that too. It's open to interpretation.
We could say it's a mix.
Yeah,
both of those things rely on that.
Yeah. I do want to meditate more before I go to sleep because it's helpful, and I do not get great sleep ever. So
yeah,
that would be good for me.
That's super helpful.
Yeah. Okay, next category is what you want to look like.
I just put a haircut, but
it's
kind of stupid for me because my hair is like kind of the same always, but
yeah. Okay, we'll just move on from you on that one. Mine is to discover my personal style more and dress for my age, not just t-shirts and shorts. Like, I'm just hot all the time and I like to be comfortable, but I'm kind of sick of just wearing like t-shirts and shorts all the time. And it's nice to like look nice. So that's a goal of mine.
I guess I could relate to that one.
Yeah. I mean, like, look at us. Like, every week we're here, like, just wearing, like, we do not dress up for the podcast by any means.
I think my whole life, it's just like at school, it's like you got to wear the nice uniform. And then when you get home, you just want to wear comfortable stuff. And like now it's like when I go to work, I wear my nicer stuff. And then when I get home, it's like I just want to be a slob. So I have a hard time with it.
Yeah. Which is understandable. So that's mine for what I want to look like. Next one is accomplishments. Or what you want to accomplish.
I just put like the specific things.
Yes.
Okay,
That would
I
be
mean,
how
I
that
just
one
put
works.
better work ethic and be more disciplined.
Yeah, so yours is not specific enough, but that's okay. It can be specific in your own mind. You don't have to.
Yeah, I'm not. I'm sure like there's a more specific thing in my head. I'm not capable of thinking of it right now.
Yeah, well, I'll do mine. I would love to get a 4.0 and finish as much of my degree as I possibly can, which obviously I can't just finish my degree right now, even if I worked night and day, because that's not how school works and you have to pay um, and do it on their schedule. And then also continue to grow and build the podcast. Um, do better on the Instagram, be more consistent with uploading episodes, make this whole situation like look a little bit better. Um, and then take some initiative on jump starting my little side businesses. Like I've been saying I want to sell my photos for forever. I need to make some beef tallow lotion. We need to get some sourdough to people. Like there's a lot of opportunities for like little businesses that I have just not been taking advantage of, honestly, and I would like for that to change this year.
Yeah, I think that would be nice. I think this next year is going to be the year of like the side hustle.
Yeah.
I think that's what it's going to come down to.
Yeah, which I enjoy that. I've just been in a funk. So I need to get out of that and
Yeah.
start doing what I know that I'm good at and capable of, which is sorry, there's a weird helicopter outside, which is making weird little businesses and
Yeah.
things like
Beef
that. Like
tallow
that's what I
lotion and
enjoy
stuff.
and I do well in. So yeah. All right, next one is financial goals.
I just said have more money than we need. I don't like being in this situation particularly where you barely get enough or you don't have enough, and I just want to be okay.
Yeah, I think most
I don't need to
people
be a billionaire or anything.
yeah. I do. No, I'm just kidding. But I did have enough money to meet our needs, but also be able to travel and feel financially free. Like I don't need to be a billionaire, but I do enjoy traveling and going places. So like having enough money to be able to do those things would be nice because it's important to me.
Yeah, and everything nowadays costs.
$1 million.
Yeah,
So
you don't even know. It's just like
so
made
really
up
we do
now.
need to be billionaires.
Basically,
Yeah.
like now it's like go to the grocery store and they're like, we play a game where we guess how much it is, and you kind of think you know because you just went like a week ago, and if you get something that's like less or about the same as what you got last time, it's always different. Like somehow,
It's always more money every time we go. I don't
yeah,
understand.
like we'll get like a third of what we got the last time, and it'll somehow be close to the same price. And
Yeah,
I'm just wondering, like, we
it's
don't buy
crazy
things
town.
that are that ridiculous.
No, not at all. Um, Speaking of buying ridiculous things, the next one is what do you want to purchase?
I mean, I just put a car for you.
Yeah. That's also what I put. But I also put I want to be more thoughtful with purchases and eliminate frivolous spending because there's so much stuff that we just don't need, but like we feel like we need in the moment. And if you I don't know. Like you need to go like a few days at least thinking about it and making sure that it's like really something you need before you buy it because money doesn't grow on trees.
Yeah, I think I just like
And
I
there's so
didn't put
much
it down.
waste too.
Yeah, I didn't put that one down, but I think I just want to get back on like a fairly strict budget and just like actually knowing what we're spending all the time because like we used to be really really good at that, and now it's kind of like yeah, like we loosely pay attention, but it's not as much as I would like.
Yeah. Well, I pay attention, but
I think if I pay attention too much, I'll lose it, but I definitely think we can do better.
yeah, for sure.
I have not found the middle ground yet. It's either like I'm completely hardcore about it and I'm just like a miserable person about it, or like I'm just like, well, I just won't look at it right now. I just
Yeah.
pretend it doesn't exist.
Yeah. Well, that's a
Which
good
is
goal
neither
to
are good.
be in the middle this year.
Yeah.
Next one is where you want to be.
I just put I don't necessarily want to be in a city, but I want to be. I like the Northeast a lot, which we've said this a million times, but I thought about it being like the Granbury of the Northeast, which is where we used to live. And I say that what I mean by that is like you're near the city or like the stuff you like to do, but you don't have to live in it, and you're like good driving distance, and it's not as expensive to live there, but you don't have to worry about all the chaos that comes along with living in a city.
Yeah, I think that's good. I just want to live somewhere that's not necessarily in Texas, and I would also love to have a loft apartment because that's something I've always wanted but never had.
That's been something I want to.
Yeah, so I think this next year that would be cool, no matter where it's at. Even if it is in Texas, like it would be cool to have that. But I'm hoping.
Yeah, I want the experience. Like you see it on TV shows and movies all the time with like the loft apartments. Like I want that experience because I feel like it's very possible. It's just you have to find the right place.
And it's hard because trust me, I've tried to find one and it's very hard.
I feel like they just go really quick.
Yeah. And the next one is creative goals.
I really didn't know what to think about for this one, but kind of like what I talked about last episode, like I got a drone, and the reason I even got it was because I've seen these videos on YouTube where they either race them or they call it like freestyle drone footage, and these people are just like incredibly good at flying drones in first person, and they just take videos and put them on YouTube, and it looks really fun to get good at that. So I just put that.
Yeah, I think that's good. Mine, I want to feel inspired again. Oh, sorry. I just smacked myself in the face with the mic. Hopefully that wasn't loud. I want to feel inspired again and take more pictures. And like I said before, like put more effort into the podcast Instagram. Also get back doing Substack, like fix our website up, like keep it updated. Just kind of get back in the swing of things that we were doing in New York. Because I was very inspired there, and since moving back, I don't feel the same. So I just want to get back to that because ultimately, the inspiration is within you. You just have to bring it out. So yeah, I would like to start doing all of that again.
Yeah, part of my I think it was my like work ethic stuff was to be disciplined, and I feel like that kind of goes along with some of that stuff because a lot of times to like not only have the time to do it, but like with creativity, like you have to keep doing things, like, and it's not always going to be like work out how you think, you know?
Yeah.
And so like even though it's kind of a chaotic like way of doing things, like still requires discipline in some form. So
yeah, because like you're not always going to be motivated, but you can always be disciplined.
Yeah, and a lot of times like motivation, because motivation's a feeling, right? And a lot of times you're not going to feel like you want to do it, and that's why like goals fall off for the new year. Like you don't feel like you want to do it one day,
right?
And then you just stop, and that's where discipline should come in, and you should just keep doing the little stuff every day.
Yeah,
you don't have to make the greatest like leap forward every single day. It's just you're going to burn out. It's not going to happen.
Yeah, for sure. And then the last one is relationships.
I just want to get better at connection and communicating.
Yeah, that's basically what I put too. I put be better about reaching out to people and spending quality time.
Yeah, I'm terrible at communicating. I'm sure most of my family and maybe even friends, like the most information they get from me is from this podcast. So
yeah,
I probably should do a lot better at that.
Yeah, we both definitely should. We are not the best about it. So yeah, that's something I want to work on this year. And I also just put that I need another adventure. So my goal, or like one goal this year, is to just go on one adventure. What that is, I don't know. That's one of the things that is probably going to be a quote about adventure or something on the vision board because I don't have in mind exactly what that is yet. But
might be to get a car. Who knows?
Maybe. There's something in the works. So I'm remaining hopeful.
It's definitely an adventure to get this car if we get it. So.
Yeah. We are remaining hopeful and seeing what is in store. But yeah, that's it for this episode. If y'all make a vision board, tag us on Instagram at On the Earth Brett and Claire, or send us a DM. I'd love to see it.
If you're brave enough, send a picture.
Yeah, well, that's what I meant.
Oh. Yeah, I'm behind always.
Yeah, but also if you don't want to send us a picture, let us know if you made one. If there's any other categories you think should be added to this list, let us know that. And yeah, I hope you are all starting the year off right. And I hope you ate your black-eyed peas and collard greens last night.
Oh, yeah, because it's coming out of New Year's.
Actually, it'll be the day after New Year's. So 2 nights ago, I hope, or yesterday, I don't know. I hope y'all ate those on New Year's. And hopefully we will too. Look forward to seeing a lot more of y'all in 2025. And I think that's about all we got.
Yeah, cheers to the new year. Thank you for listening, and have a good new year.
Yep. All right. Thanks, guys. See you next Thursday.
Bye.
Bye.